The Double Knit Factory Outlet in Sarasota features tremendous values on double knit apparel. The Double Knit Factory Outlet has 100% double knit slacks from $7.88. That's the Double Knit Factory Outlet, 4119 South Trail, Sarasota, just across from Montgomery Wards. Open Sundays. Same great values at the Fort Myers store.
Weather Watch is brought to you by Intercity National Bank, Cortez Plaza, Bradenton.
Good evening, I'm Steve Newman, and this is Channel 40 Weather Watch, the late night report. Well, tornadoes and a variety of adverse weather has been occurring up in the northern portion of the state, particularly in the panhandle into Alabama and Mississippi tonight. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. High temperatures around our area today, 81 in downtown Sarasota, 82 Bradenton, 78 at our Venice transmitter site, a little cooler than usual there. Fort Myers all the way up to 86, Lakeland 84, 86 for Orlando in the Disney World area, Tampa International made it to 81, and St. Petersburg 83. For marine interest tomorrow, winds will be quite gusty from a southerly direction, anywhere from 15 to 20 knots. Seas are increasing somewhat, 4 to 5 feet, and they will keep building up the next couple of days, with shower activity and thunder shower activity expected tomorrow and on Friday. The saltwater temperature at New Pass stands at 73 degrees. Tampa radar at this hour indicates an area of extensive showers and some thunderstorms from Tallahassee up into Georgia, just out of the display area of our D1500 computer. We're moving on toward the east. Let's take a look now at some temperatures around, rather our 11 p.m. weather from the D1500 computer. We find that our temperature stands at 70 degrees. Winds are out of the south at 15 miles per hour. We've had no rainfall. Humidity is 83%, and the barometric pressure is steady at 29 and 84 1/100 inches. We're back up to 4 full tides for Sarasota Bay and sunset tomorrow night at 7:01. I'll be back to take a look at the national weather scene and our local forecast right after this.
Hi, I'm Donna Valentine for Intercity National Bank. Say, have you heard about the new 42-month new car loans at Intercity National Bank? By stretching your monthly payments over 3.5 years, you reduce the monthly amount you pay. That way, it's much easier for you to afford the new car you really want. Now, here's an important point. The interest rate you pay on a 42-month loan is no higher than any other auto loan at Intercity National Bank. Check with the folks at Intercity in Cortez Plaza.
Well, nationally, we have some quite adverse weather with a lot of precipitation over a low-pressure cell over central Arkansas. And extensive flooding, I'll get it out yet, has been occurring in the past week throughout the entire Mississippi Valley. Flooding has been occurring in 5 states along the Mississippi River, all the way from Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and into Texas and Oklahoma. Many people have had to be evacuated by local authorities. And the flooding is expected to crest near St. Louis by Thursday, by mid-afternoon tomorrow. And it's the worst flooding experience there in the past 200 years. Now, not adding to any of the bad weather is fair skies over in the western portion of the nation, which will be moving in the next couple of days. But right now we do have some very bad weather. A slow pressure cell with associated fronts extending down into the Gulf of Mexico and Texas, and also up to the Atlantic as a warm front. Tornadoes have been reported all this afternoon and evening through the southeastern United States. One particularly near Dothan, Alabama, and into Mississippi. Otherwise, extensive thunder shower activity has been occurring from Texas, Oklahoma, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, all the way over to the eastern seaboard, and a lot of cloudiness around here. And this thunder shower activity should keep moving toward the east at about 25 miles per hour. So tomorrow night I place this cold front extending from just about, at this time, from just about the Georgia coast down through the central portions of the Florida Panhandle. And by Friday afternoon across the central portion of the Sunshine State, and that's when we should get the heaviest thunder shower activity, maybe even a possibility of a squall line on Friday afternoon. Otherwise, we only have one light area of clear skies up in the Great Lakes. We'll look at it in satellite in just a second. The warmest temperature in the nation and the coldest temperature in the nation are unavailable today due to transmission difficulties from the National Weather Service's teletype system. In our ATS-3 satellite picture this afternoon, we can see an area of extensive showers and cloudiness throughout the central portions of the Mississippi Valley and across the Sunshine State, where we see partly cloudy skies. I mentioned that clear area up near Wisconsin and Illinois. That's the only clear portion of the United States outside of upper New York State. Temperatures around the nation this afternoon: 76 down in New Orleans, 69 at Dallas and Fort Worth, 66 at Kansas City, 59 at Midway Airport in Chicago, 51 at Cleveland. Detroit with 56, same for 56 at Buffalo, 64 over at Philadelphia, 56 in Boston. Up north of the border, 52 at Toronto, and Montreal with 51. Our D1500 computer forecast for the next 48 hours is calling for increased cloudiness tonight, with a chance of some showers tomorrow afternoon. Low temperature tonight should be 66, high tomorrow 80, and just about the same temperature extremes for Friday. However, more cloudiness on Friday, and also a possibility of some thunder showers during the late afternoon hours. Our rain probability all day Thursday is 30%, increasing to 60% Thursday night, and also all day Friday. And that's the way I see it on the weather scene tonight. Next, it's more news.
Hi, I'm Donna Valentine for Intercity National Bank. Ever consider how convenient it is to bank where you shop? If you live in or near Manatee County, chances are you're a regular shopper at Cortez Plaza in the Greater South County Shopping District. Just about everyone in the county visits the Greater South County area once a week or more, so why not bank where you shop? Intercity National Bank, conveniently located in Cortez Plaza. They'd like to meet you and would be pleased to serve all your financial needs. Intercity National Bank, Cortez Plaza.
Weather Watch was brought to you by Intercity National Bank, Cortez Plaza, Bradenton. Celebrate the grand opening of Eckerd Drugs in Sarasota's Crossroads Shopping Center by saving on Jergens Bath-Size Soap, only 7 cents a bar at all Sarasota Eckerd Drugs. Weather Watch is brought to you by the Marine Camper Center, 41 Bypass, Venice.
Tonight. Good evening. I am Steve Newman, and this is Channel 40 Weather Watch. It's going to be even cooler tonight than tomorrow night than tonight. The reason for this, with the passage of the cold front today, when we picked up some showers, skies have cleared very nicely. And as a result, the heating radiation coming up from the Earth is going right up into the atmosphere, nothing to keep it down, thus cooling us off a lot more than we normally would. That's the bad part about having clear weather. Tomorrow night's temperatures could be as low as 38 inland and 40 to 41 along the coast. For high temperatures around our area today, 68 in Bradenton, 10 degrees warmer at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, 78, 71 at our Venice transmitter site, 78 at Fort Myers, Arcadia 75 as it was in Lakeland, Orlando 76, Clearwater was 66 degrees, St. Petersburg 72, and Tampa International 61 degrees. Miami, one of the warmer spots, up to 81. Now, small craft, if you're going out in the Gulf of Mexico, I advise you not to. Small craft advisories are in effect from Fort Myers northward and from Cape Kennedy northward on the east coast. You can expect winds northwesterly 20 to 25 knots, and our seas are running between 4 and 6 feet. The saltwater temperature at New Pass is 59 degrees, and at Egmont Key 1 degree warmer, 60 degrees. Let's take a look at some rainfall we had around our area today as displayed on the D1500 at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. They picked up a little over 1.25 inches. Outside of our studios, a little more than a ½ inch. Arcadia, a little less than 1/4. Bradenton, 81 1/100 of an inch. Fort Myers, 21 1/100. St. Pete, 68. And Venice transmitter site picked up 63 1/100 of an inch of rainfall. Looks like we're going to be rain-free all the way through this weekend. No showers forecast for tonight. And I'll be back to take a look at the national weather scene in just one moment.
Come on in and see us at the Marine Camper Center in Venice. We're your complete recreational stop. We service and sell quality products, and we have a complete line of boats and Chrysler motors, travel trailers, and beautiful motor homes, like the Rolls-Royce of motor homes, the Ford Travel, Luxura, which is paneled throughout with 1/4-inch rosewood paneling, honest-to-goodness wood. And we're pleased to be offered this exclusive dealership on the west coast of Florida. Come in and see us. The Marine Camper Center, 41 Bypass, Venice.
Well, good evening. That frontal system that moved through our state is right now turned stationary, right smack dab in the middle of the Sunshine State, extending up to those low-pressure cell off the Atlantic coast of New England, causing some very heavy snow showers up there, extending all the way into the Great Lakes. Heavy wind coming in out of Canada, very cold, dipping temperatures way down into the teens today. Gale warnings are in effect for the entire Great Lakes region. And you know, about 36 hours ago, they had a warming trend. Well, they have a 36-hour cycle right now this time of the year up in New England. It'll turn cold and then warm, snow and then warm. It just happens over and over and over again. Right now, cold wave warnings are in effect for for Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Minnesota tonight. Temperature is going to drop down way down to the teens and possibly the one-digit figure numbers. Today it was 8 degrees this afternoon, below zero at Bismarck, North Dakota. Further to the west, 2 high-pressure cells are keeping skies fairly clear over the western United States. Some snow shower activity in the panhandle of Texas today has dissipated as of this hour. Earlier this evening, we had some thundershower activity in Southern California. Let's take a look now at some temperatures around our beautiful nation this afternoon, as of about 1 p.m. this afternoon. You notice San Francisco came in with 52 degrees, 60 down at L.A., 55 for Phoenix, 45 at Dallas and Fort Worth, 50 in New Orleans, 11 Kansas City, -3 at Bismarck, 6 degrees Minneapolis, St. Paul, 21 at Chicago, 26 at Detroit, 31 in Cleveland, Cincinnati 32, 29 Buffalo, 25 up at Caribou, 42 in Boston, 45 in New York City, Philly with 46 in the nation's capital, 42 degrees. Now outside of our studios, our projected temperature 51 degrees. Winds are out of the northwest, 15 to 20 miles per hour. And we've had 51/100ths of an inch of rainfall outside of our studio. Humidity is 78%. Barometric pressure is steady right now, 30 7/100 inches. An outgoing tide in Sarasota Bay to reach a low at 7:07, and from our almanac, sunset this evening, 6:20, sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:10. Now the forecast for the Channel 40 viewing area. Small craft advisories are in effect, otherwise fair through Saturday. Our low temperature tonight, 47, high tomorrow, 60, and low tomorrow night, 40 in the warmest district, as low as 37 inland, and high for the next day, 61 degrees. And that's the way I see it on the weather scene. Stay tuned next for more news. Good night.
Come in and see us at the Marine Camper Center in Venice. We're your complete recreational stop with a complete line of boats, Chrysler Motors, travel trailers, and motor homes. We have sought and serviced motor homes for over 8 years, and we're now selling what we think is the best in the business, the Ford Travel Motor Home. We think you'll agree with us, too. Come in and see it at the Marine Camper Center on the 41 Bypass, Venice.
Weather Watch was brought to you by the Marine Camper Center, 41 Bypass, Venice.
WXL-TTV, Channel 40, Sarasota.
Oh, thus be it ever when free men shall stand between their loved homes and the war's desolation. Blessed with victory and peace, may the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God is our trust, and the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good morning. This is television station WXL-TTV, Channel 40 in Sarasota, Florida, beginning another broadcast day. Channel 40 is owned and operated by the Sarasota-Bradenton, Florida Television Company, Incorporated, and operates on an assigned frequency range of 626 to 632 megahertz. with an effective radiated power of 1,405,000 watts, under the authority of the FCC Washington. Channel 40 studios are located at 4101 Clark Road in Sarasota, with transmitter site located 6 1/2 miles east of Venice. Portions of our programming today are mechanically reproduced. Service to our community through television programs that entertain, inform, and educate. This is the pledge of WXLT as a primary affiliate of the ABC Television Network.
Weathermen aren't very popular this weekend. Not only did you provide rain for the Lakefront Festival, the Air Show, the Bud Billiken Parade, the King Neptune
just wait a
Parade,
minute.
the Gold Coast Art Fair, all zapped.
Just wait a minute. Not only did I foul up the forecast, the National Weather Service fouled up the forecast, and an awful lot of people fouled it up. We all misinterpreted our 500 millibar high-level vorticity chart that comes out. Well, that's a good excuse as any. Actually, what happened, a cold front that passed through our area days ago came right back up. You're looking as a view from space. Here is Chicago, and here are those rain shower activities in our area. A lot of activity coming, say, Sunday night our way as far as shower activity. Let me show you exactly what happened. Last night at 10 o'clock, this cold front right here was placed somewhere down here. We all thought it was all through, wouldn't come back, but sure enough, it floated right back up to our area, just about over top Chicago, stalled, became a cold front again, and moved back down. And you can see where it is right now. A lot of heavy activity. We'll look at it on radar in just a second to the southeast of us. However, for Chicago, not much shower activity anticipated for tonight. Tomorrow, I can promise you, will be a very nice day. Temperatures mostly in the 80s in the Midwest, along the eastern coast in the 70s. Nationwide radar at this hour. A lot of heavy activity down in the southeastern United States. And here is the activity around Chicago from our radar. Further to the west, these patches right here are moving more or less to the east. If we're very lucky, the southern suburbs might get them late tonight, but otherwise, I really can't say. And I'll try and say the best I can right after this.
What's on the other side of today? What's to come tomorrow? What's to expect from the coming days and the years that follow?
It's but one day away, the future, and you have to be ready for it. That means saving. Your family's security, their well-being rests with you and us. Helping families is very important to First Federal. We've designed programs that can help you save and make your family's future something to look forward to.
What's on the other side of today? What has the future to show? What's on the other side of today? And what will we do when we know?
We'll help you save. First Federal Savings of Chicago. The saving place.
You're looking live now at the National Weather Service Marseilles radar. Here is Chicago, and down in the southern suburbs there is some activity going on all the way down to Joliet. This activity moving to the southeast, so the great majority of the Chicago area really isn't in for any more rainfall. A lot of heavy activity down in Indiana up to Fort Wayne, moving off the radar screen. That is moving away from our area, no threat to us. For tonight, super in Old Chi-Town. Now that's not the assumption that clear skies is nice weather. That is, it's a nice, pleasant change. Mild temperatures, a little bit of cloudiness, but by late tonight you can look at those meteor showers. I'll talk about them tonight at 10. Low 62 degrees, possibly a little warmer than that. Northwest winds 7 to 12. No Skylab passes for some time. For tomorrow, simply great. Do anything you want to do. I promise you, That's not a guarantee. I promise you that you can go out on your picnics and do anything you want to do without any rain falling on you at a high of 97 degrees. And that is the best job I can do in forecasting. It may change by 10, but I doubt it.
Well, let's hope your upper stratosphere gizmo doobly witch is working for tonight.
I had to come up with some excuse.
Tonight, Action 7's Frank Matthey revives some spirits dampened by Salt Creek, and he stops to look a gift horse in the mouth. Frank, which is first?
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From the staff and management of Channel 40, WXL TTV, we wish you a beautiful holiday season.
Service at the airport. But if something isn't done soon, there is the possibility of confrontation between the two independent cab companies.
Now it's time for a look at the weather. Not that we really want to look at the weather, but Steve does, and he'll tell us about it. Go ahead. Tell us.
Would you like for me to go home and you can sit here and read the forecast?
Tell us how good it's going to be, Steve.
You know, I really don't appreciate getting knocked down by everybody about the weather. And you can read the forecast one night and I'll prove it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I take it all in stride.
I certainly hope
and I hope you'll take our bad weather in stride,
folks. You'll be striding in deep snow.
Not for a while at Hancock International Field. Our current temperature back on page 1 of our digital display unit, which we have coming out of a computer. It's 49 degrees. Today's high was 55. Last night's low 41. Our current humidity is 80%. Barometric pressure 2984 inches of mercury and steady. And we have winds coming out of the east at 7 miles per hour. Coming up will be our satellite view from outer space, and you'll be able to see clouds and some clear areas. Not many clear areas, but a lot of clouds. Here we go. Here's Syracuse, and early in the day we did have some clear patches. The sun came out, then noon, the sun went away, then in the afternoon it came back for a brief visit, and here you can see all this moisture and clouds coming down, and another system brewing over the Great Lakes coming our way, and in it is rain, and later will be turning to snow, unfortunately. Here's what's happening. We had a nice southerly wind flow, balmy breezes from the Dixie states, not much moisture, so we had clear skies. Then disturbance now over the Midwest is heading our way and beginning to cloud us up, and with it some shower activity forming in western New York. We'll look at it on radar in a minute. Heavy thunder showers and a couple thunderstorms in the Ohio and Tennessee Valley states tonight, but really nothing severe to speak of. This will move through, drop our temperatures. We'll be down to the freezing mark Wednesday night, and we'll only get up to about 40 or maybe even 39 on Thursday. Temperatures around the nation 11 o'clock, except for this one. 91 was a hot spot in McAllen, Texas today. It's currently 50 in Kansas City, 53 in Chicago, Ottawa 39, 50 in our nation's capital, and Miami Beach. It's 77 degrees. A lot of 50s and 49 degree readings, 250s at Albany, at Erie, and also Buffalo. It's 46. In Rochester, Toronto, and Elmira, and Utica, it's 49 here in Syracuse, 40 in the state capital. And down at New York City, it's 53. Now that rain I promised to show you on our radar display from the National Weather Service, Buffalo. Here's Syracuse. Here's a radar site in Buffalo, and this white area is rain, form of showers, and it extends all over western New York, almost to the Finger Lakes, and it's moving on toward the northeast our way at about 25 miles an hour, and at this rate, it should be here somewhere around 2 to 2:30. The WNYS-TV Weather Service forecast for metropolitan Syracuse and all of our viewing area tonight. Cloudy and rain beginning, like I said, in a couple, 3 hours. Overnight low 45 degrees. It'll be 45 at 8 a.m. Also, as you're heading for work and school, dress them up in raincoats, and you'll need them most of the day and probably as you're coming home. Rest of Wednesday, it'll be windy and showers intermittently and a high of 55, and that's the last of the warm weather for this week. We had our chance. Tomorrow night, rain changing to snow in the cooler air, and we'll be down to 32, the freezing mark. Thursday, flurries, a high of only 39, and Friday, we'll probably
wish that it wasn't Friday. Yeah,
That's
probably
right.
so. Okay, meet some Japanese Boy Scouts and an old American one. Next on Eyewitness News.
A nationally famous brand intimate apparel and sleepwear. Soon at Day Brothers. Soon at Day Brothers. Very soon. You will save 30, 40, 50% and more on nationally famous brand menswear and women's fashions. Soon at Day Brothers. Soon at Day Brothers. Very soon. You will save 30%, 40% and more on nationally famous brand towels, recliners, and children's wear. Soon at Day Brothers.
Steve Newman Vacation for WNYS TV Syracuse. VTR 1, cut 1, take 1.
This is Florida.
Man, I've been having a really great time down here, and as much as I hate to do it, I'll see you next week. Maybe. Hey, honey!
7, 6.
Jack Eckert is concerned about the way Florida is growing. He's concerned with unbridled growth leading to overcrowded cities where people can't get the services they need to live the kind of life they deserve. Jack Eckert wants to see more carefully planned and managed growth for our state. Vote Tuesday, November 5th. Elect Jack Eckert to the U.S. Senate, where he will work for a Florida we can all enjoy.
Cut 4, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Jack Eckert thinks it's about time something's done about the high price Floridians have to pay for electricity. Jack Eckert asks, why should Florida be paying higher prices than any other state for foreign oil to generate power? And he says, let's explore the conversion of plentiful, non-polluting solar energy for our use. Vote Tuesday, November 5th. Elect Jack Eckert to the U.S. Senate, where he'll help shed some new light on our power problems.
Cut 5, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
In the Democratic primary, most Democrats felt Stone had no chance of being nominated, so they didn't take time to vote. The liberal Dade County fringe nominated a politician whose standard solution to problems is spend, 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 whose budget in Tallahassee quadrupled in just 4 years, a rise of 400%. We simply cannot afford Dick Stone. Vote Tuesday, November 5th. Elect Jack Eckert to the U.S. Senate, where he'll help stop wasteful government spending.
This is Channel 40 News Watch with anchorman Bob Keane, weather analyst Leslie Green, and sportscaster Ron Jackson.
This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News with anchorman Solon Gray, weather analyst Steve Newman, and sportscaster Frank Hudson.
Steve and I were just talking about space and some of
checking
the
up
things
on
that are happening up there. Pioneer 11 is the satellite that's going to be re-aimed by the space scientists.
Space scientists to take a look at Saturn, see something we've never seen about it, its surface. Just seen the rings and really nothing underneath its dense atmosphere. I always get excited when you see things men have never seen before. Kind of lose the thrill after you've seen men walk on the moon. Here's something you don't see every day. I don't know why I'm doing this. Here's a satellite view of Europe we got this evening from our NOAA 3 satellite. It's a new satellite. It didn't pass over the United States tonight, so I couldn't give you a good infrared picture of the United States. But here's England, and you can see it's raining over London and up through Scotland. And most of Spain is clear down the Gibraltar. The Rock of Gibraltar's got some clouds over top of it. Italy's got a few clouds down in the boot. And Sicily, it's raining a little bit there. I don't know why you'd care to know about that unless you're planning a visit there tomorrow. By then, that weather'd be gone anyway. What we're concerned with now is the United States, and a cold front that came down through us today gave us a little bit of clouds, really not much to talk about, but did get windy and a little chilly, and it stayed chilly, and temperature's going to get down this morning to about the 32-degree mark. Below this, high pressure giving fair weather in the southeast United States, and above it, high pressure going to give fair weather to the northeast United States when it moves in late tomorrow night. So all of this weekend will be simply fantastic. Temperatures will be a little bit below normal. It won't be nice and hot beach-type weather, but it will be a pleasant change from what we've had for the last 6 months. Out west, a very intense low pressure cell is causing adverse weather about 1,000 miles away out in Texas. Some heavy thunderstorms are occurring there in advance of it. A very tight pressure gradient. As this system moves across the United States, it will weaken and will affect us maybe late Sunday night and early Monday when it starts to rain. That's when our present weather picture will deteriorate. Very heavy winds associated with it. Down in Palm Springs, they had dust storms in Death Valley and around that area today. And meanwhile, another storm system is beginning to move up in Vancouver. And it should come down in the next couple of days. We don't have to worry about that till late next week. These are high temperatures around the U.S. 57 in San Francisco. The warmest in the nation was 95 at Gila Bend, Arizona, 80 at Dallas and Fort Worth. Tampa was 79. We made it up to 61 degrees at Hancock Field. These are 11 o'clock temperatures around our state, 52 in Albany, 62 in New York City, down in Binghamton, 46, 45 here in Syracuse, 40 at Watertown, 44 at both Rochester and Buffalo. For Syracuse in central New York tonight, windy, sunny, and mild. An overnight low of 37 if you're downtown, 32 in the suburbs, and maybe 29 if you live on a farm somewhere. And a high tomorrow, 52. High Saturday, maybe 58. And high on Sunday, maybe 62.
You know, you practically shattered us over here when you went into that rain in the Rock of Gibraltar there. Frank and I have been sitting over here trying not to laugh out loud and destroy your weather forecast. That's pretty funny.
Well, you don't get to see that every day.
That's true, you really don't, and it's quite interesting. I would ask you some serious questions about what's going to happen in India tomorrow.
I don't know. But, have a hard enough time with Syracuse.
Thanks very much.
Channel 9's new Eyewitness News team. Join them weekdays at 6 and 11 p.m. Meet Channel 9's new Eyewitness News team. Anchorman Solon Gray, 22 years as a television newsman. Sportscaster Frank Hudson, knowledgeable, dedicated, aggressive. Weather analyst Steve Newman, experienced, competent, a complete weatherman. Switch to the new Eyewitness News team, weekdays at 6 and 11 on Channel 9.
Good afternoon from high atop Channel 40's transmitter tower, at least our microwave tower up here at our studio locations. I'm Steve Newman, Director of Channel 40's Weather Services. Now, the winds have been quite gusty up here today. I've almost been blown off a couple of times. However, temperatures really haven't been that warm, about the 73-degree mark. However, on the East Coast, down towards Miami way, they were a little bit warmer. This kind of weather will be with us through the weekend. That bad weather that we passed yesterday is far gone down into the Keys, down in the Caribbean, and we can look forward to a fine weekend coming up. And I'll have a complete look at the national local weather picture, providing I don't fall off, on TV 40 Weather Watch tonight at 6:20. Watch yourself, Sarasota, with the Channel 40 News team. Now sit back, relax, and watch your afternoon movie starring Ann Baxter, Dana Andrews, and Walter Brennan in Armored Attack. It's a story of the Russian peasants fighting against the Nazi invaders. That's next on the 4:30 movie.
Kings Gate, a condominium recreational vehicle park. It's new and is now open with all the facilities that you could dream of in a recreational vehicle park. And you can own your own lot. Buy a lot and enjoy the beautiful facilities such as the heated swimming pool, sauna rooms, billiard room, activity room, tennis courts, shuffleboard courts, shop area, and many other facilities. Or rent a space for a night. You'll enjoy it. Kings Gate between Sarasota and Venice, just east of 41 via Laurel Road.
Weather Watch is brought to you by Save-On Furniture. Join the Save-On Safari. It's for those hunting the best furniture values.
Good evening, I'm Steve Newman, and this is TV 40 Weather Watch. I'm standing perched high atop Channel 40's microwave tower outside of our local studios on Clark Road. All day today, skies have been partly cloudy, high cirriform type clouds. Temperatures have been quite mild, very pleasant weather with a little bit of gusty winds, almost blown off a couple of times. And as I look around right now, I can't see any showers anywhere within my range. Let's take a look at it on radar now from Tampa Weather Service, displayed on our D1500 computer on its full range of 240 miles. Look at the weather picture tonight at 6:20 on TV 40 Weather Watch. Watch yourself, Sarasota. A clear, sunshiny day in progress over most of the Sunshine State this afternoon. Our afternoon high temperatures were in the low 80s in many locations. Good afternoon. I'm Steve Newman, Director of Channel 40's Weather Services. As of 4:30, the weather picture up in New England is not so good. We have some heavy snowfall occurring, and heavy winds are buffeting the New England coast. Now I have a complete look at the weather picture tonight at 6:20 on Channel 40 Weather Watch. Watch yourself, Sarasota, with a Channel 40 News team. Meanwhile, just sit back, relax, and watch our afternoon movie.
Bell's department stores are having an exciting showing of the newest long dresses, styles for every occasion, daytime, nighttime, at home, or out on the town. Easy care jersey, polyester, or rayon cotton by famous makers, McKay of Miami, Puritan, Kay Windsor, and many more. Choose sleeveless, short or long sleeves, or chiffon sleeves in pastels, darks, prints, or checks. The look of the loveliest is definitely long this season. See them all at Bell's department stores.
Countdown. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Bell's department stores invite you to see the most complete selection of lovely ladies' robes, long or duster lengths with long or three-quarter sleeves, easy care fleece, flannel, and popular quilted styles by famous makers, Kaiser, Eye Appeal, Katz, Philmade, Smart Time, and many more. Use our convenient layaway plan, and remember, Bell's will gift wrap your purchase absolutely free. See the newest ladies' robes at Bell's department stores.
30 seconds in length, high band, color, Montgomery Wards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Sometimes even pros don't know a good thing when they see it. Hey, not the tires, dummy. Like Montgomery Ward's new Riverside 2278 tire with 2 Husky belts for puncture protection and 2 body plies for a safer ride. Get a belted tire at non-belted prices. The Riverside 2278 from Montgomery Ward.
Shop now during Ward's Big Saver Sale. Save up to $10 per tire at the Ward store nearest you, where you can say charge it.
Then in the next county down there is St. Joe's Hospital. Sarasota Memorial Hospital, through the Public Hospital Board, has a site in Warm Mineral Springs. Aren't these enough? Is it really necessary to have another hospital?
For the time being, or at least up until this time, the studies that the County Hospital Board have performed concerning the South County have led us to feel that up to this point the facilities are adequate. The problem you have, you see, is that the district we're talking about is not just Sarasota County, but it takes in the contiguous counties south of us. And as it happens, the population is growing on the 3 counties rather than just on one or the other. So if we just consider Sarasota County, probably we're adequate to this point. However, looking at it as Dr. Cerisi has looked at it, where you're taking into account the entire population of this area, then it would seem that within a relatively short period of time, someone would be justified to have a facility. And as I said, I would think that in the next couple of years, 2-3 years, that we'd be more than justified. I mean by we, a facility would be justified in the area, yes.
Chris, I think he has raised a very important point, and I would like just briefly to add to it graphically by taking this and showing you what he's talking about. This, all up here, is only Sarasota County. And anyone who is an official from the Sarasota County Public Health Board or from the Planning Commission, etc., are only talking about this area. But when we went before the Comprehensive Health Planning Council of the entire region, and when the Bureau of Health and Rehabilitative Services in Tallahassee, which issued us a certificate of need, when all these studies were made over a period of a year and analyzed, what they were measuring in terms of health care needs was not just limited to the boundaries of Sarasota County, but they were expanded to what we call the patient shed, or the total medical service area. And it is this total area that must be considered, because diseases, I'm sure you would agree, do not recognize political boundaries. They transcend them. And we transcended them in thinking how we can bring and improve the quality of health care to this entire peninsula bounded on the Gulf and here by Mayaca River, south by Boca Grande, and north by Route 41. That's our patient shed, and we have to consider the whole thing. And in that consideration, we found that today, the total population in this area is supporting today a 94-bed hospital based upon proven Hilberton experience factors. And if you recognize that our proposed facility will take at least 2 years to build, we will be more able to support a 100-bed hospital than the population will demand, because the area is growing at the rate of 20% a year. And so we're going to be short of beds in this area. If Venice Hospital succeeds in its expansion, which we trust it must, and we encourage them to do so, and if we are allowed to build our 100-bed facility, we're going to be short of beds.
Mayor Gentle, as really the end of the line of Sarasota County, which Northport is, what are the needs of your community now? Not 2 years from now, but right now.
Well, the need of doctors and medical facilities are urgently needed now. I don't have a medical facility.
Where do you go when you get sick?
Well, our nearest hospital is either St. Joseph's in Port Charlotte, which is approximately 18 miles out. Or Venice Hospital, again, between 15 and 18 miles out. If the patient has to be taken to Sarasota as one had to the other night, that you're looking now at about 30, 35 miles out, 40 miles out.
Why would a patient have to go there? Because of the facilities that these other hospitals don't have and Memorial Hospital does?
Well, in this instance, we had a patient with a head injury. We had to get a neurologist in a hurry. Venice was not able to service at that particular time, so we had to put the patient back into the ambulance and start racing for Sarasota. It's an isolated case, I agree. But when you are looking at predominantly elderly people, you have to take that as a prime consideration. I have to have medical facilities to take care of these people because there aren't any.
What would the construction of this Lemon Bay Hospital mean for the city? I understand that plans have a clinic for Northport, or to be opened within Northport now. I don't know what this means as far as a clinic, just a dispensary, or whether it be a sort of satellite emergency room.
It's an outpatient clinic type of facility. However, I think that engaging an outpatient clinic, I think the emphasis and the importance is hospital, because this is where you're going to have your people taken care of. An emergency clinic, fine. But if I have to have a neurologist or a surgeon, I've got to get that patient to the hospital. Now, in looking at this situation, Northport, rather than just saying we will take care of Northport, we have discounted that approach. We feel, as a city, that the obligation transcends Northport. We have an area that is not covered by a doctor, is not covered by a hospital. And in supporting Lemon Bay, I have asked the people of Northport to transcend that approach, and let's go with a community effort so that the entire area is taken care of, not just Northport.
Mm-hmm. Do you, would you have preferred to see the county hospital build a satellite facility on its Warm Mineral Springs property? There's been a sign there for years. This has been a possibility for years.
If I would take a rather selfish and self-centered viewpoint, of course, because it's right at my door. But when you look at the overall picture, I would say no. Because Northport is not the only area that you have to consider. There are considerations that you must give to the population, to your neighbors. We don't take the selfish viewpoint, put it at my doorstep. We would rather say, let's go community-wise, get the hospital going, so that, and located in such an area, at the central location, that it is accessible to the entire patient shed.
Dr.
You
Cerisi?
can see, Christine, where we're glad we went to Northport with that kind of broad point of view. We're very happy to have you as a sponsor of our tax-exempt bonds. And the attitude of both Mayor Gentle and the entire commission is one that recognizes the total need, that everybody has neighbors, and that it's the total health care picture that we're looking at and trying to ameliorate.
How close would the Lemon Bay site be to, say, Northport?
9.27 miles.
And how close would it be to a place like Rotunda West? This is another area I see here on the map.
You see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles.
Oh, I see. That's what those numbers...
Yes, this is a concentric, these are concentric circles that give you an indication of the mileage from the center of our operation.
Have you discussed at all with, well, the closest hospital presently in the area would be Venice Hospital. Have you discussed the possibility of a competitive hospital with the administration there?
Yes, indeed.
What's
naturally,
their reaction?
because we intend to be good neighbors too. It doesn't matter to us who builds a hospital, so long as we have a hospital and we have it on time. And in the very beginning, about 2 years ago, when I began to think of hospitals and the need of hospitals in our area, I discussed this matter with various people informally connected with Venice Hospital. At that time, there was the proposition that Venice would come into this area and build a 50-bed satellite hospital. Since that time, it has been dropped as a project for several reasons. They have put out a terrific effort, I think, on their part to raise even a portion of the $6 million that they had in mind at that time for expansion. I think they've raised something like $2 million. It's a Herculean effort that they put out in this tight money market. So that I don't think they have the funds to go ahead with this. But I think there are other considerations too. They've realized that perhaps the people of the area want to do something on their own for themselves. For a variety of factors, the president of the Board of Trustees has advised the president of our Lemon Bay Hospital trustees that the project no longer exists. Now, in addition to that, I can assure you, and I'm sure they're ready to assure anybody, that there will be definitely a cooperative effort between the two institutions. Structured corporately, they are the same. Non-profit, private, voluntary, general medical and surgical facilities. Venice is now 156 beds. They know and we know that it is not going to be enough next year or even worse the year after. And for many years now, Venice, particularly during the expanding tourist season, is overcrowded. People are in the hallways, in the doctor's lounges, and only emergency cases are taken. And this can only get worse unless we build, and soon. And as I say, I don't care who owns the hospital, whether it's the county that is going to build it or whether it's ourselves. The thing I care about is that a facility come and be built, at least 100 beds to start, that it will attract the very much needed doctors, and that there be an understanding that this is for the entire region, not just Sarasota County, or not just any other particular reason, but for the whole medical service area. We will be a nonprofit hospital, and whether it's done as nonprofit or whether it's done by the county, we urge that it be done quickly, and we have 2 years of work that we have done to prepare for it. Our facility would not cost the taxpayers 1 penny. The county's facility would, of course, be a tax-supported hospital.
Dr. Miller, along the same line, do you think as a member of the Public Hospital Board you can address yourself to this question, and that is, do you think it's possible Memorial Hospitals Board essentially could say, well, hey, this is a pretty good-looking program, it's not going to cost us anything. Perhaps since we haven't built on the site we have, this is the way to go. We'll back these people up and support them in every way we can in encouragement.
It's a possibility. Of course, I can't speak for the board. I can only speak for my own opinion. But if a facility is built and it doesn't cost the taxpayers of Sarasota County any money, and it does serve a need, and it makes it unnecessary for us to have to spend tax dollars for our proposed site in Northport, it would seem to me that that would be all for the good.
Do you think there's any indication that this might happen?
I think there's indications that it might, yes.
I am tempted to quote Abraham Lincoln, who said once that the function of government is to do for the people what they cannot do for themselves. And the converse is also true. If we can prove, and we have proven, that we can do it ourselves, as a taxpayer, I wouldn't want to spend tax money to do what can be done without incurring burdens on the tax treasury.
Let's talk about that.
All right.
You keep saying it's not going to be a tax burden. It's not going to cost the taxpayers anything. How will it be paid for?
Through the sponsorship of Mayor Gendel's city, Northport, the IRS has a regulation called 6320, which in essence encourages the building of health facilities in pockets of real need, such as this, where there is nothing, by endowing the financing vehicle of that institution with a tax-exempt status. In other words, Chris, if you were to buy a bond, insurance companies, mutual trust funds, banks, and they buy the bonds normally, but let's say if you were to buy that bond, and we pay you for the use of your money to build our hospital with 7.5% or 8% that 7.5% is tax exempt, as opposed to you're making, let's see, prime rate is today about 11.5%, and you would then be quoted for conventional construction financing prime plus 3, prime plus 4%. You would be getting 13 or 14%, but you'd have to pay taxes on it. So we are a tax-exempt financed nonprofit hospital, and that's where we would get our money from guaranteed underwriters and brokerage houses, bond houses such as Merrill Lynch, Bache.
Sounds like a bargain to me.
You mean a tax bargain?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. This is our point, and we've done 2 years of work, and we are absolutely convinced, and the map should make it clear, that we have the prime site to serve not just one city, as Mayor General was talking about, but as she has said, the whole patient shed, the whole medical service area. We're ahead of the game. We've got an excellent site. We need doctors. We know we need a facility. I hope we will have the blessing of the county.
Well, what is the problem in that vein?
Well, we've surmounted all of the problems that are required. Water, sewer, certificate of need. We've gone through 6 meetings with the Comprehensive Health Planning Council and is now up in Tallahassee. Tallahassee has accepted their recommendation to approve our hospital pending proof of financing, which I think we have, and we have demonstrated that we have, so I think everything will be fine there. The one thing that is stopping us is this question of zoning. And the Planning Commission, the county, Sarasota Planning Commission recently turned us down, and again I go to this chart, because their sites actually end at this county line. In other words, they only look at that. And on the basis of that, they had some question about whether the site was proper. As for a facility, what traffic it would generate, or they had 3 alternatives, which we're going to be discussing, I think, later today before the county commissioners, where we go with our hat in hand to beg for zoning approval. But what we contend, and this is the basic point of contravention, is that when you play in a hospital facility, unlike some other kind of building, that the interests of hospital and medical men such as Dr. Miller transcend these boundary lines. We have what is known as a patient shed or medical service area. You can't find an injured child in Grove City and say, because you live in Charlotte County, we can't take care of you. Or an indigent patient out here in Charlotte County, or a child of an indigent family, and say, we can't take care of you because you're not in our tax picture. This is subservient to the basic principle of what a hospital's business is, which is life and death. I think that transcends the principle of what they call land use, by far. Do you agree?
I agree.
So what you're saying now is that the Sarasota County Planning Department or Board isn't happy with the site that you've chosen?
Yes, and I say they're not happy with the site because they are limited in their sites to Sarasota County. They don't look beyond the non-incorporated area of Sarasota County. We are begging them to look past that, and we will do so before the county commissioners, who have that kind of discretionary, broad point of view, to look beyond that and to see the need for the whole area regardless of which county it falls in. There is no difference, in our view, between an elderly person who has had a coronary and needs instant attention as to whether he lives in Charlotte or in Sarasota.
Have you, since you have run into problems in this light, have you discussed any of this with Charlotte County? Possibly looking for a site down there and doing the same thing?
Well, we've looked at sites down in Charlotte. For example, we went to the person. It's very hard to find who owns what land and whether it's available in a large enough site to make a total medical complex so you attract the doctors and the hospital. We found a site about right here in Charlotte County, but it's so far distant from this confluence of roads, which is known in our area in Charlotte County as Whiskey Corners. It's a quaint name, but that's it. You see these roads all come here.
Well, what about someplace in Grove City or?
Well, then where would that put Northport Charlotte? Or how about up in Northport Charlotte where the county has a site, where would that put the people of Rotunda West? You see what I'm saying? But you've got to consider the whole area, and therefore it underscores, as far as we're concerned, that this is the prime site.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is what happens if the zoning doesn't go through and you're turned down? Are the people behind Lemon Bay Hospital going to say, okay, we won't do anything?
No. No, you can't say that and have a social conscience. You have to try to continue to broaden the educational base on which the initial negative decision was made. and you have to go back and knock on that door again if you're worth your salt and you're serious, and we're serious. We have an urgent need down there. I live there. And I've had a child born that was born in Sarasota Memorial. And we went through 1 hour of agonizing traffic that felt like 10 hours. Well, no, you talk about the young people who need this kind of facility, and you've got to service these young people as well as the elderly people. And you can't let it go. You have to continue to try for what you know is right. And the more we're able to tell our story, the more I have found that people understand it, judge it as right, that our position is well taken, and they're coming on our side and want to tell those in government, we want this hospital.
Dr. Miller, should Lemon Bay be turned down in its zoning petitions, and the whole thing is sort of scotched, as it were, it's been obvious through the efforts of Dr. Cerisi, Mayor Gentle, and many other people that South Sarasota County and the communities therein are really interested in having a healthcare facility. Do you think the hospital board would be inclined to go on this initial impetus and build something down there, or to provide some kind of thing sooner than they had perhaps planned?
Perhaps so. We have initiated a study of the entire county. This is the third part of a study which includes Memorial Hospital itself and also the county. And I would hope that within the next 2 to 3 months that we'll have a report from our specialists in this field recommending to the board, or at least recommending to the committee, that something be done. And I would hope within a period of 5 or 6 months that we can make a decision one way or the other. If, as you say, this plan is scotched, I think that the very fact that it's gotten to this stage as far as Lemon Bay Hospital is concerned will give impetus to our board to at least seriously look into the situation. I think up to this point, I speak for myself, we really have not planned to have a facility in the South County, or at least it's been in the offing, but nothing solid has been done. And I think that within this next 6 months, we will come to some really concrete decision regarding South County. Whether this is billed or whether it's not.
Have we got time for me to just ask a question of Dr.
Sure.
Miller? Could you give us a timetable, since urgency is, time is a matter of urgency, as Mayor Gentle has pointed out. Could you give us a timetable as to when you think you, if you went ahead with this program, would have a 100-bed facility available for this entire area?
Well, knowing how government grinds slowly, I suspect that it would take about 4 years.
About 4 years?
I would think so.
And you would be 2 years away.
Well, we've done 2 years of work. We've done the work that they would have to do essentially. And yes, we can build this hospital easily within 2 years, now that we've done all the work, including financing and so forth, with the added virtue that we would not be a tax-supported hospital, whereas I think you would be a tax-supported hospital if you went ahead with your 4-year program. And then wouldn't you also have some problems with regard to indigents if they came from Charlotte County and came to a tax-supported institution in Sarasota?
All right, that brings up a question I'd like to ask. You mentioned, for example, an obstetrical case.
Yes.
Namely your own wife's.
My own.
Will you have obstetrical section to the hospital? Because that's basically a money loser.
You're quite right. In hospital economics, that is. And I think someone asked me at the meeting the other day at the Public Hospital Board meeting, would Lemon Bay Hospital have a maternity ward? And I replied that in our phase 2, that is the beginning of our second 100-bed hospital, we definitely would. Because I don't care whether that maternity ward is a money maker or not, and it is not in any hospital. Venice, for example, doesn't have a maternity ward. We have got to ensure that that's provided, and that some of those services that a hospital has, which make a great deal of money, should be contributing to the maintenance of a good and ready maternity ward. As a matter of social conscience in the community.
Excuse me, we are absolutely out of time.
Oh.
you must go off to the county commission and do what you can to pursue the matter of the possibility of Lemon Bay
I trust that means I go with all your blessing.
Indeed you do.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here, and thanks for discussing this with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good day.